And welcome back. The number of people deciding to list their house for sale posted the biggest increase in nearly 3 years. Yet home sales are not improving as home buyers are facing 7% mortgage rates. As home buying demand remains sluggish at best on a national level, the share of price reductions in the US is surging. In today's video, I'll share all the details based on a new report from Redfin, including an update regarding home prices and much more. Before we get started in today's video, if you guys are looking to buy a house this year, check out my new website, which is realestateteamfinder.com, and I'll link you up with a great real estate agent in your neck of the woods, or check out the link in the video description below. I appreciate you, and let's begin today's video. So here's the actual report from Redfin just posted today, which is February 29th on Thursday. The headline reads, new listings post the biggest uptick in nearly 3 years, but buyers show restraint or show some restraints as rates are rising. New listings nationwide here increased by 13% year over year. This is the amount of people deciding to list their house for sale rose by 13% compared to the same time frame in 2023. That was the biggest increase in nearly 3 years. Total inventory, which is the amount of houses for sale nationwide here, is also improving. Active listings are flat from a year ago, marking the first time in 9 months that the total number of houses for sale has not decreased. Redfin goes on to say, of course, this is welcome news for home buyers because, of course, if we have more new listings, of course, this means there's more options of houses to choose from. And that would imply we should be expecting to see not the craziness we saw back in 2020 through the first half of 2022, where virtually any house that got listed for sale got gobbled up very quickly. It became a very challenging housing market, to say the least. However, home buyers are still facing a huge housing affordability hurdle right now due to elevated prices and rates as well. In fact, Redfin says here that the average housing payment is $2,671 per month. That is only $47 shy of the highs we saw last October when we had the average rate was around 8%. And today, at the time of filming this video, the average 30-year fix for people with great credit is around 7.1%. So pretty crazy that we're very close to multi-year highs regarding average monthly housing payments, and therefore housing affordability is still very low. Now here's a section I tend to talk about quite a bit on the channel. I like to focus on forward-looking indicators to kind of gauge which direction our housing market is facing. Keep in mind, any metric that has to do with a closed home sale, that would be the median sold price, the average sale price to final list price ratio, etc. Any metric that has to do with a closed home sale is really what our housing market was like approximately 1 to 2 months ago when the home buyer got their offer accepted. So that's very much a lagging indication of our housing market. However, these are early indications of what could happen here or what could impact future closed home sales in the next 1 to 2 months. And one of those things, the main thing here, is average rates. So according to the Mortgage News Daily, as of February 28th, that was on Wednesday, the average rate was at 7.15%, but it actually decreased on Thursday down to 7.10%. Again, these are the best average rates on a national level if you're putting 20% down, if you have a great FICO score, and also if you're looking to buy a primary residence. In other words, a house to live in and not an investment property. So on average, we're at 7.10%, a little bit below this 7.15% on the report here. We're also seeing here as well is that we're seeing a decrease in the amount of people deciding to apply for a home loan. These are purchase applications. This is according to the MBA here, down 5% from 1 week ago, and also down 12% year over year. So a lack of people submitting applications And also, this is probably due to the fact that rates have been increasing as of late. On top of that, Redfin has what's called their home buyer demand index. This is an index which measures more or less requests for home tours and other home buying services by their agents here. Even though it increased 8% from 1 week ago, and also it increased by 10% from a month ago, which makes sense, right? Because actually this is seasonal adjusted, but it is up from 1 week and also from 1 month ago. But even though because of these increases, it's still down 9% year over year. On top of that, Google searches are down 8% year over year. And also touring activity was actually only up by 12% compared to the start this year. Compare that to 14% in 2023. Here's something different as well, because this was updated as of February 25th, but on Showing Time's website, they have data through February 28th. This is showingtime.com. And of course, every single one of my videos, I post a link in the video description below regarding all the reports I share with you guys. So you guys can, read this yourselves if you want. This is my own take based on this report here. Anyways, Showing Time is a lockbox company in which real estate agents open it up with a key or with a combo. And they, when they do that, the key comes out or the key becomes available, and then the email gets sent to the listing agent. So if you have a house that's listed for sale, you might see these blue lock boxes. For me, being a real estate agent here in Sacramento, I open up my app on my phone. I type in my code and then it opens the lockbox. I get the key, then I can show my clients a house that's listed for sale. Showingtime.com tracks this on a national level, in fact, actually in North America, to see how the number of real estate showings compared to the first week this year. And they also have data going back to at least 2020. So in any case, here's the big change here, because as of the week ended February 28th, the number of real estate showings across North America compared to the first week this year increased by 21.7%. Compare this to the same time frame last year, we were only up by 12.4% compared to the start that year, and up by 13.6% in 2022. So more real estate showings right now compared to the past several years, at least compared to the first week each and every year. So going back to Redfin's report here, basically what we're seeing right now is touring activity increasing, but we're not seeing an increase of applications for new home loans. And on top of that, we still have high rates, and also Redfin's index is also down on a year-over-year basis. So more touring activity, but again, like I said at the very beginning of this video here, this is not translated into a huge increase in pending home sales. It's pretty wild to see that we're seeing a huge increase of new listings, yet pendings are actually going down. So let's have a look at some other trends here based on home prices here. So Redfin basically tracks 400 plus US metros, and their data goes back through 2015. The most recent report here covers the 4 weeks ended February 25th here. So the median sold price on a national level was just under $366,000, up 5.4% year over year. That's the biggest year-over-year increase since October of 2022, excluding the 4 weeks ended February 11th. This is a look at Redfin's data center. It actually goes back through 2021. The orange line right here is, of course, this year. The blue line right here is last year, which is right there. And the black line is 2022, and here is 2021. Pretty wild to see that the median sold price, approximately $366,000. Compare this to the same time frame in 2021, it was at only $301,000. This means the difference over the past several years here has increased a whopping 21%. Something else that caught my attention as well is that right now we're up by 5% from 2023 this time, but back then we're flat. In fact, this was the first time in several years in which home prices were down on a year-over-year basis. And that was really March through approximately June last year. But again, a friendly reminder, this is a lagging indication of what our housing market was like when rates were much lower than they are today. Redfin also tracks 50 of the most populous US metros to see how they fared here. So regarding home prices increased the most in Newark, New Jersey, up a whopping 15.5%. After that, we have San Diego, Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, and Anaheim, California. What's wild about San Diego is that in San Diego, I believe the median sold price is around $900,000-ish. So a giant increase of 15% goes a long way because home prices there are very high compared to the national average. Let's have a look at San Diego very quickly here because again, right now around $900,000, $896,000, that was a good guess, up 15%, which is wild because at this time in 2023, they were down 4%. What's wild about this as well is that at nearly $900,000, this is much higher compared to 2021, when the median sold price back then was only $684,000. Let's get back to Redfin's report here because there's only 2 metros out of the 50 that were down on a year-over-year basis. That was San Antonio, Texas, down 5%. Then we have Detroit. I haven't seen Detroit here. This is a new one, down by 0.4%. Over the past several months, Austin, Texas, and also Houston, Texas were in the top 5 here as well, but they're actually in positive territory as of late here. When I look at Redfin's data center regarding Austin, Texas, they're now up by 2% year over year, much different compared to the spring and summer months last year when they were down from their peak here, down by 19% during the 4 weeks ended May 21st. So quite the turnaround in Austin, Texas. Let's get back to Redfin's report here and talk about pending home sales, new listings, and active listings. Some very, very big changes here. So pending home sales, a measure of buyers getting their offers accepted, decreased by nearly 8%. That was the biggest year-over-year decrease since October of 2022. New listings increased by 12.9%. That was the biggest increase since June of 2021. Now let's take a step back here, right? If we had a housing market that was surging, that home buying demand was increasing big time, that would imply that if we had an increase in the number of new listings rising 12.9%, we should expect to see a huge increase of contracts being signed simply due to the fact we have more houses being listed for sale, right? We're seeing just the opposite though. This is telling me that home buying demand is sluggish at best, given that pending sales are decreasing year over year, but new listings are increasing by double digits. Now, one thing we're not seeing as of yet is inventory absolutely skyrocketing because compared to 12 months ago, we're virtually unchanged. However, though, this is the first time that housing inventory has not posted a year-over-year decrease since June of 2023. Now, here's Redfin's data center regarding pending sales. As you can see here, down 7.7%. Also, during the same time frame, at least a 3-year low. This is going back through 2021. So back then, at this time, just under 100,000 pending sales. Now there's only about 76,000. In regards to new listings increasing here, but still down compared to 2022 and 2021, but getting pretty close though. As you can see here, rising much faster compared to 2023. In regards to active listings or housing inventory, you can see here virtually unchanged from last year. It's kind of hidden, which is right about there. 763,000 houses for sale, roughly on par with last year, but still higher compared to 2021 as well as 2022. One thing I want to share regarding new listings here is that new listings on Redfin's data center or all their metrics only goes back to 2021. What I really like to look at is pre-pandemic levels though, because even though new listings increased by 12.9% from 2023 here, we're still well below pre-pandemic levels here, or pre-COVID levels. So here is Realtor.com's report for the month of January here. They will announce February's numbers, I would imagine, in the next week or so. So here's new listings here. New listings is this dot right there, around 300,000 new listings for the month of January this year. That is up 2.8% compared to January of 2023. Which is this pink or light red line right here. So even though we're up from last year, we're way below 2017 through 2022. In fact, looking at 2017, which is the blue line, which is right about right there, the orange line, which is 2018, and 2019, back then, around 400,000 new listings for those Januaries. Now we're only at about 300,000. So of course, what this means is that we have approximately 25% fewer new listings compared to pre-COVID levels. Getting back to Redfin's report here, the month supply is at 3.9 months. What this more or less means is that on a national level, every housing market's different, but on a national level, we have a slight seller's advantage in which sellers have an advantage over home buyers. A more balanced real estate market is in the range of 4 to approximately 5 or 6 months. So we have a little bit below that threshold right now. On top of that, looking at days in the market, the median days in the market is at 48 days. This is slightly lower than last year's levels, but higher compared to 2021 and 2022. Back in 2022 at this time, it took approximately 32 days to sell a house. Now it's taking approximately 48 days. In regards to the share of price reductions, again, that has been surging as of late. According to Redfin, we're at 5.8%, much higher compared to 2023, as well as 21 and 22. Back then, the share of price drops was at 2%. Now it's nearly 3 times that, at about 6% right now, and also going virtually straight up, much different compared to 2023. 2 more charts I want to share with you guys here. The average sale price to final list price ratio is at 98.4%. This means on average for the houses that sold, they sold for 1.6 percentage points less than the seller's final list price, excluding price reductions. The last chart I want to share right here is Redfin's home buyer demand index, down 9% year over year. On top of that, it's at least a 3-year low. And with that said, if you guys want a real estate agent referral, check out that link in the video description below or go to realestateteamfinder.com. I appreciate you guys watching today's video. Like and subscribe. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you in the next video.